guys, gals, and non-binary pals, and 𝗓𝗶𝗂𝗧𝗏 here today. A few days ago on my community post, I made a post saying like, hey, do you guys have any stories about when you scripted me into your desired realities? And I also made a post on my Instagram asking for, stories. You guys gave me stories. Am I surprised? Very surprised, because sometimes I surprise myself. So originally I started writing down all the stories because, fun fact, I actually don't have Wi-Fi. I just have like unlimited data on my phone, which is how I like post on YouTube, all that stuff, even though I have a second phone. But then I realized I could have just been taking pictures the entire time. So some of it I'm going to be reading out of this book, the responses that I wrote down, and then the other pieces I'm just going to be reading off of my phone, my second phone. So if you see me reading from a book, that's because I wasn't thinking, and then I was like, why didn't I just take pictures of all the responses? So let's get right into the video. I went to a party with you because we are best friends, but at the party you were taking a very big interest in Cedric, and then you guys did stuff. And now you two are together and you're really, really popular. This story, was the first story I ever heard about Cedric and I getting together. So, when I read it for the first time, because obviously this is not my first time reading any of these stories, I've read them all, multiple times because they're very interesting. I was very surprised, but I was like, it's just a 𝗓𝗶𝗂𝗧𝗏, because then they're like, yeah, I didn't script you to be with him, and I was like, oh, prob's a coincidence. So you were dating Draco, but then Pansy put a love potion on Draco, and we overheard her talking about it. So I told McGonagall, and Pansy got suspended. I could see that happening. It's the third year at Hogwarts. Pansy, me, and Maddie, which is this person's story, we're all in Slytherin, and we are the Golden Trio. I'm the chosen one, and Maddie is the Hermione person of the group. Except for, plot twist, Snape actually likes the Golden Trio this time. Yay! Maddie would always hang out with George, Pansy would always hang out with Draco, and I would always hang out with Ron. During the summers, we'd go to the Malfoys or the Weasleys, depending on the person. Clearly, Pansy just wasn't following our pack of dating redheads. It's okay, Pansy. I began dating Ron. Me, not the person who told the story. But then in 7th year, I cheated on Ron and ran away to Paris with Cedric. What? So Bella, the person who told me this story, was sitting in the library and she was with Ron and the Golden Trio, but Ron wasn't really eating or talking that much, so everyone was like, oh my gosh, what's wrong? Are you okay? And then Ron was like, oh, I really like someone. You guys got some advice for me. And they told him to make a move and invite her over for Christmas or something. And then later, Bella and Harry were hanging out and they heard a noise in the hallway, so they instinctively went to look, and that's when they saw me and Ron kissing, and then they figured out that we were together. You were in a love triangle with Cedric and George. You were dating Cedric, but George was just, being George. Once again, I'm with Cedric in so many people's DRs. The entire George piece of that didn't really, surprise me that much because I have a desired reality where I didn't script that anyone likes me, and I did date George in that reality, which I don't really talk about on YouTube, but I've talked about it on my group shifting account on TikTok. If you don't follow that, you should totally follow that. It's at shiftingmetimbers. But I've never gone to a reality where I've dated Cedric. In fact, I've never even thought of Cedric as a love interest until a bunch of people told me I'm dating him in their DRs. And then I was like, Cedric? Diggory? Literally, the night I kept getting all the stories about us, I was like, what is happening? Oh, this person, they asked me to the Yule Ball, and I said yes. And basically, we went, we looked great. We looked perfect, but then I was like, hey, I'm gonna go get us some drinks and take a break. After 15 minutes, I still didn't come back. Suspicious. That's weird. So they looked for me and they found me in a broom closet making out with Draco. Wow. So this person scripted that Derek would have a crush on me, but they didn't script how I felt about him, so they're surprised with this, and they're like, hey Monique, who do you fancy? And I was like, no, pay me. Which is something I totally say, but I would say it as a joke, but they took me very seriously, and they're like, oh, how much? And I'm like, 5 galleons. And then I was like, okay, I like Derek. And then they set us up on a blind date, and we got together, and we had the most love-hate relationship. So that was very interesting. This was the second or third time I shifted. But we decided to skip class because the fuck, we looked like we were going to school. Anyways, we snuck into the Ravenclaw common room and saw Cho and Angelina getting it on. And they started yelling and threatening to tell on us. So we ran the fuck out of there. We somehow found our way onto the Quidditch field. And we were like, hey, why not play some Quidditch? So we did a one-on-one game, but you pushed me off my broom on accident, but you're all scripted. She can't feel pain or die. So I just got up laughing my fucking ass off. And then Snape caught us, so we tried to run. But this motherfucker was too quick. Yeah, he's fast. And we got detention. But and Ron and Harry somehow got detention too. And because I'm a Harry simp, don't come for me. We spent detention being each other's wing woman. As we should. So when I first shifted with you in my DR, I forgot to script that I couldn't get sick. And one day I was feeling ill and I was like, I could really go for some butterbeer. And you came back with 2 whole jug things of butterbeer. It's not that interesting, but you're really nice, so thanks. Also, you're consistently asking for snow cones. I've never seen a snow cone at Hogwarts, and I didn't script it, but you just won't stop talking about them. Literally, after I read that, I turned to my friend and I was like, damn, I could go for a snow cone right now. And she was like, what? They are actually really good. I'm very obsessed with slushies. I drink them like very, very often, at least once a week. So it doesn't surprise me that I really like snow cones. Monique, see you and Harry, huh? Yeah, I guess. You and Cedric, my best friend, Monique? Really? Wait, how did you know? Yeah, Draco likes to gossip, and that's why we both dated and I broke up with him. I guess I broke up with Draco. That's really funny. Okay, let's continue. Yeah, exactly. Now let's talk about Hermione. So how are we getting her and Ron together? Basically, we're best friends that are Slytherins and we judge everyone quietly. That's high-key what I'd be doing though. But I guess I didn't like Ron and I wanted Hermione to get with him, so... And once again, I'm dating Cedric in someone's DR. I shifted to Marvel since I already went to Hogwarts a few times and I scripted you as my best friend at Midtown High. You ended up with Peter, so now MJ hates you. Let me someone mad. We were all friends before, but now she's jealous. I mean, if I was MJ, I think I'd be jealous too. Besides that, you don't like school at all, but to be honest, you do pretty well. And you're a YouTuber there, even though I didn't script it. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I'll get into that later. You do singing covers and vlogs and you have like 100K. Your voice is so pretty, please. Also, you're allergic to cats for some reason, but still have Oscars, so I don't know how that works. This, to me, is just more proof that shifting is real and it's not lucid dreaming because, for one, even if I didn't make like shifting content on YouTube, that's the exact kind of content that I would make. And I'm not just saying that because of this person's story or whatever. That is originally what I made my channel for. You can literally scroll down, look at it before I made shifting content. That's what my content was. So it's like not really a surprise that that's what it was in the desired reality. And for 2, I've never said I was allergic to cats, but I am allergic to cats. And I do have an Oscar. I'm not super allergic to cats, so I don't really care. That's why I have a cat. Basically, when cats scratch me, I just break out in hives, which sucks because Oscar's very playful and he scratches me quite often, but clearly I really don't care. I shifted to the 60s to beat the Beatles. I don't know why, but moving on. And I didn't script you in, but you were just there as John Lennon's sister. As I should be. So this was my first shifting experience, and you'd recently posted a video of you teaching us spells. My subconscious said yes. You were having trouble with transfiguration, and I really needed help with charms, so we helped each other out. Hermione also offered too, so she helped us in whatever classes we needed and checked homework for each other, etc. We had a mini study group with her and some friends from my current reality. Interesting. I'll start with me scripting you in my Harry Potter DR. Okay, so me and you decided to throw a Slytherin party, but invite every single one of our close friends. Draco wasn't exactly happy about this, but I bullied him for being a baby. And halfway through the party, we were on a big circle. You and Luna were sitting suspiciously close to each other, but I decided to leave it be. But Draco, being the idiot that he was, decided to call you guys homophobic slurs. Sounds like Draco. And when I tell you I was ready to beat the fake blonde out of him, he says, you say, what, are you jealous, Malfoy? And he went in a huff and walked over after I hit him for saying homophobic slurs. Then Luna, in her innocent, drunken ways, decided to tell us that you guys have been dating for a year. Plot twist! I shifted recently, and you were my DR dating Cedric. However, I didn't script any of this. You guys are in the same year, so I scripted that he didn't die because I didn't want the trauma for Harry. But you guys left Hogwarts, and you're still together. He's like a playboy, but he stops fooling around when he's dating people. And you guys had met during class together. It's honestly such tea. One day, I was just walking around the halls, and I saw you two snugging. And let me tell you, when the rumors run around about the popular boy being with the quiet girl, you were dating Ron in my desired reality, and we went on a double date. You ended up going to Paris with Cedric and Draco in my DR. When I scripted you were dating Ron, I scripted that Voldemort was dead, and you were in Cedric's year for some reason. But you two were dating. I don't know. You were pretty close. It's been like 3 years since you two graduated, and you guys are living together right now. It's kind of wild. I really liked your name in your 1DR because you mentioned it, Williamson. So I stole it. I shifted and we're twins. I didn't even put you in. I just stole your last name and it was like that. That's really cool. These stories were so cool. They're so interesting for me to read because I don't know. Hearing stuff that I do that I don't remember doing is so like interesting to me. It was just like mind-blowing, I guess, to read all those stories. I hope you guys enjoyed these stories as much as I enjoyed reading them. And as always, happy birthday!